The Henley Homes Big Sale. Save up to $40,000. Henley.com.au. Welcome to SEN Cricket.
It's the taker! He does go again! And that's the biggest of the lot! That is a shot of an emperor.
Live across Australia and around the world. Australia versus Pakistan on SEN Cricket.
The International Summer of Cricket is about to come to life. We are gathered at the MCG for a one-day international between Australia and Pakistan. And what is a pretty afternoon in Melbourne. The breeze is up, but the sun is peeking through clouds, an expected top of 20 degrees, and more than 20,000 have been invited in. Plenty more can come. It's a lovely schedule. Cup Eve, the quasi-public holiday in Melbourne. I'm not sure it's been totally exploited the way that it might have, but we will see some pretty entertaining cricket. We're heading down to the toss. Adam Gilchrist.
Pakistan, we are ready for the toss. We have the match referee, David Gilbert, the two captains, Mohammad Rizwan and Pat Cummins. And Pat has a coin. Heads is a call. Tails has come up. Pat, you're going to have a bowl?
Yeah, that's right. Have a bowl. Have first crack at it today. Looks like a good wicket.
Yeah, it always plays quite well here. You haven't played a lot of cricket lately. You must be feeling refreshed. Your last international was the T20 World Cup.
Yeah, that's right. Had a quiet few months, which has been lovely. Feel really fresh ahead of a big summer. Feel really well placed.
And what about the team? It's exciting at the top. An opportunity for Short and Fraser McGurk to try and cement down a spot with the absence of Travis Head and Mitch Marsh.
Yeah, that's right. They both play quite aggressively, which is always fun to watch when they're on your team. And a couple other, younger guys who have had a bit of a taste of international cricket before. But yeah, with a couple of the big boys away, it gives them a good chance.
And I guess a tournament that not many people remember, the Champions Trophy is coming up in February. So the road to that championship starts here.
Yeah, that's right. Really good opportunity to keep building out the style that we want. Good opportunity for some of the younger guys as well to try and earn a spot in that team. So yeah, that's kind of the next big ODI cricket ahead of us, not far away.
All right, mate. All the best today.
Thank you.
Mohammed, congratulations on the captaincy. You've captained a couple of test matches before, but your debut in white ball cricket. What style of captaincy do you want to bring?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. How we're going to play, we're going to try something like that. I don't want to follow the world, what the world is doing now, but what kind of, as a player, as a group, we're going to do that. And the thing for us is how can we going to make a champion of our team? This is for us.
And the team, there'd be some learnings. It was a disappointing World Cup, wasn't it, a year or so ago, and you haven't played 50-over cricket since then. What are the key learnings from that campaign?
Yeah, always you're going to learn from some of our mistakes. Yeah, we did well in the World Cup, but it's a long game. Sometimes if you look at that, it's good for us to get that rest in between the 12 months. But inshallah, we're going to do what we're going to do after this matches. We're going to see that after that meeting.
And I did ask Pat about the Champions Trophy. You're the current holders of the Champions Trophy. It's 2017, a long time ago, but that's obviously taking place in February in Pakistan. So again, for your team, it all starts here in preparation for that.
Yeah, we are also looking that, but luckily we are they're going to play in the home ground, in home condition. This has been Pakistan. But inshallah, we will see, because after 12 months, we don't know what's need for us in Pakistan team. After this series and next we have 3 more series, we're going to see the players and we're going to complete that, inshallah.
Well, mate, all the best in your captaincy debut. So the news from the middle there is Pat Cummins has won the toss for Australia and has elected to bowl.
So you'll get first look at it, the captain, and he's got Mitch Starc, Sean Abbott and Adam Zampa as the frontline attack. And I think if there's a hope, it's that Pakistan play the way that Mohammad Rizwan does, just play in the guise of the captain. So Australia to bowl first. It does set up the openers as we reach the twilight and underlights a little later today. Jared Waitley with you. Damien Fleming is by my side. Hello to you, Flem.
Hey, Jared. G'day, listeners. Yeah, looking forward to this, particularly with Paddy winning the toss and seeing what this... that's a very experienced Australian bowling line do on a pitch that just looks like it's got a bit of green tinge. It's nowhere near, obviously, the grass that we see in four-day cricket for Victoria or in Test match cricket at Boxing Day. But we know with Mitchell Starc, his ability to get up and get early wickets. Pakistan have got a couple of debutants as well, so that's going to be nerve-wracking facing this Aussie team. And then on reverse of that, really looking forward to the opening pair for Australia. Short and Fraser McGurk. Can they make every post a winner? They're exciting to watch. They're power hitters. But that's in a few hours' time. So, yeah, good toss to win, I think. Let's see how this inexperienced Pakistan batting lineup goes.
Yes, it's a stacked Australian team. Now, wherever there has been cricket around the world, that's where you've been able to find Lisa Stalaker all year. Hello, dear Lisa. Welcome to Melbourne.
Oh, thanks very much, guys. It's great to be here. And it's not bad weather here in Melbourne. Nice and warm.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, just thought I'd get in early.
I tell you what it is, though. It's a little bit humid. Just for the swing bowling, this first 6 overs, Mitchell Starc will absolutely love this.
All right, we're going to delve into this game. Are you looking forward to it as a broad prospect?
Yeah, I certainly am. I think with so many issues happening back at Pakistan and Babar Azam coming back in, Naseem Shah, Shaheen Shah Afridi, who've missed out the last 2 test matches. They've got their reprieve and they're back in the white ball. So I think there'll be some strong statements made by those 3 players. And we've already kind of touched on Champions Trophy. I think the fact that Pakistan haven't played much ODI cricket since last year in Australia, really against England, and that's been it. It's actually really important series as they build up to the next ICC event.
Even by Pakistan standards, it has been a bit mad and quite chaotic, which we will delve into as we go. So I'll take you through the teams, those who have been dispensed with for the day. The 12th man for Australia is Marcus Stoinis, and Arafat Minhas is the 12th man, thanks to Liquorland, as we look toward the Pakistan setup. We'll take you through the teams and set you up for the afternoon and the evening ahead. We are at the MCG on SEN Cricket.
The Henley Homes Big Sale. Save up to $40,000. Henley.com.au. Australia versus Pakistan on SEN Cricket.
CG hosting the first one-day of the summer, Australia and Pakistan. Pat Cummins has won the toss. Australia has elected to bowl. There are some blue skies. It's largely overcast and a breeze blowing across Melbourne at the moment. If you're on your way to the ground, download the SEN app and use SEN Sync or SEN Stadium. So if you're at home, you can link our call up with the television pictures. If you're coming to the ground, as happened right throughout the footy season, you can listen to our call with no delay here by clicking the SEN Stadium button once you're with us. It's live, crystal clear and no delay. Gerard Waitley, Damien Fleming, Lisa Stalaker and Adam White rounds out our broadcast team today. Hello, Whitey.
G'day, Jared. I think we're all excited about seeing the Australian batting lineup, but I'm still really excited about seeing the Australian bowlers here at the MCG. I was here a couple of weeks ago for a Shield game and saw Mitchell Starc bowl so fast and Sean Abbott bowl so well. So to have both of them here again at the MCG with that confidence under their belt. So I think Pakistan are in for a bit of a rough ride early on.
The Australian side is Jake Fraser McGurk and Matt Short at the top. Steve Smith, Josh Inglis at 4. Marnus Labuschagne, Aaron Hardy is the all-rounder with Glenn Maxwell. Then Sean Abbott, Pat Cummins, Mitch Starc and Adam Zampa. And Abbott in particular has bowled well also, Whiting, in the early parts of the season.
Yeah, so in that Shield game, Jared, he took 5 for 62 in the first innings and then backed it up with 2 for 52 in the second. Mitchell Starc got the headlines because he bowled just so quickly, as I mentioned, and took 6 in the second innings. And I understand it's red ball versus white ball, but it's really the only body of work that those guys have had coming into the Australian summer. And I'm a big, Lisa, fan of Sean Abbott. I think he's such a great player. In a different generation, he would have played a lot more for Australia. But he's just so good on these sorts of wickets with that extra bounce and pace.
Yeah, he had an opportunity over in England in the ODIs against them and unfortunately didn't pick up a wicket in those 3 games. So no doubt he's chomping at the bit to kind of get back to home conditions where he gets to play with his mates and put on the green and gold. And no doubt he'll be looking for a bagful.
The thing is, he's particularly at the MCG, 21 wickets at 17. Mitchell Starc's a big threat, isn't he? And I just think that these conditions, a little bit of humidity, just watching the coverage of that Shield game, he looked, he's freshened up, swung the ball, but it looked quick.
So, Flem, just to give an insight to our listeners, talking to both the New South Wales and Victorian players around that match, they can't remember Mitchell bowling that quickly in a long time. Now, we didn't have a radar gun here for Shield cricket, but I mean, Marcus Harris went through 2 hours at the start on day one, and that was when he was at his quickest. Yep. And, you know, Marcus first faced him in the nets for a number of years. He was quick, but he, as you said, Flem, was swinging the ball too.
Yep, and then you chuck Pat Cummins in there. No,
he's okay.
He's okay. And definitely, I think he's got better at captaining himself as well. That's the hard thing, bowling captaincy, under-bowling in test match cricket, but in white ball cricket, it's picking those moments. Yeah. And I thought he did really well when they won the 50-over World Cup, particularly later in the tournament. And then Adam Zampa's just brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. No test matches for Zamps, but, you know, he'll look back on, you know, up there, you know, it's up there with Warnie's figures, Brad Hogg's figures. He's been a gun for the Australians in so many different conditions.
Jared, it's fascinating seeing the build-up to those two. So Pat Cummins, since coming back from the UK, in fact, he didn't play in the UK either, but his summer so far here in Australia has been 10 overs against Victoria at the Junction Oval and looked like he hadn't missed a beat. Adam Zampa, he just rolls out on a Thursday night, Ballina, playing local, sort of helping out at local training on a Thursday night. That's his preparation for these games here.
Yeah, that's the modern setup with this team, is do the work that suits you, present ready for action.
Yep.
And now it's time to present ready for action. So Australia with ball in hand shortly. We've got the formalities ahead of us at the MCG. So let's clear the last of our commitments and we can settle in for the first of the international cricket of the summer, with Australia bowling at a very inexperienced Pakistan batting lineup shortly from the SCG on the MCG on SEN Cricket.
The Henley Homes Big Sale. Save up to $40,000. Henley.com.au. Australia versus Pakistan on SEN Cricket.
It is the summer of cricket which promises so much. 5 tests against India, the headline act, and what a backdrop it is to that series. Events on both continents, what's happening with India at the moment, and Australia's preparations, which have had us transfixed to Shield cricket and to Australia A. The starting off point of the summer is a 3-match ODI series against Pakistan, followed by 3 T20 matches. The purpose of the 50-over games is sharp, because soon enough these two nations will be in Pakistan and they'll be competing for the Champions Trophy. So the preparatory work is brief. For Australia, it needs to be pretty sharp. 3 here and 1 at the end of the Sri Lankan series, the warm-up games, and then straight into it. So whatever decisions are to be made have to be made pretty promptly. Jared Waitley and Damien Fleming with you in the box here at the MCG. Australia has won the toss and sent Pakistan into bat. We'll delve deep into the Pakistan setup and the travails that they have been through in the early overs, but it is a very inexperienced lineup. Even though they have some international exposure. Abdullah Shafiq's at the top. He's in his 12th ODI. He was in the Test series, and Saeem Ayub is about to make his one-day international debut. He made his Test debut on Australian shores earlier in the year. Babar Azam has been through the ringer, dispensed with and back. Mohammad Rizwan is the new captain of Pakistan for the 50-over setup. Cameron Gullam, who's going to bat at 5. He's made his Test debut, started with a century. He's played 1 ODI, but he was the concussion sub when they were fielding last, so he really hasn't played an ODI at all. Salman Ali, Irfan Khan is also on debut in the ODIs. The 2 names we know, Shaheen Shah Afridi and Haris Ralph, who know these conditions at the G particularly well, Naseem Shah and Mohammad Hasnain, who's in his 10th ODI. So there's a sprinkling there, Flem, but they are hardly buttoned up for these conditions.
And you've talked about the turmoil. That may take us the whole 8 hours
it might
to get through. But Jason Gillespie is the test coach for Pakistan, is now the one-day coach. Gary Kirsten lasted less than 6 months. So that's just a little teaser.
And our old friend Alim Dar is in charge of picking the team. He's moved from the umpires to the chairman of selectors.
Is Daryl Hare doing our team?
Let's join Jared Walsh here.
For the whole community to connect and feel respected. And we thank you for playing your role. If able, we now ask you to be upstanding as we are joined by Wurundjeri Elder, Auntie Joy Murphy, Wandin AO, to conduct our welcome to country. Faisal Amlani will then perform the Pakistan team anthem, followed by Shubhri Kandaya, who will perform the Australian national anthem.
Wominjaka, we, the traditional custodians of this wonderful land here on Naarm, acknowledge our traditional owners, our ancestors, our elders and our communities from near and far across this great nation and our neighbouring islands. We also acknowledge you. We acknowledge you, your identity and your family. And of course today we want to pay our respects and thank you very warmly to the Australian and Pakistan teams. Pakistan, it's always an honour to have you here on country. Each and every year we celebrate who we are and where we come from, and our belonging is the Manigum. I'll take this leaf as your gift. It means that you are welcome to everything from the tops of the trees to the roots of the earth. It means thank you for joining with us to honour the spirits of our ancestors who have nurtured this land for thousands and thousands of years. Together, we must continue to look after what we've all been given. Good luck to both teams. My language is the Woi Wurrung, Wominjaka Wurundjeri Balak, Yemen Kundi Bik, and you are most welcome to the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri Woi Wurrung team. Thank you.
Formalities set us up for the match to come. The lower tier at the MCG has a pretty good sprinkling of fans. The estimate was 22,000. I feel like we could have done a little bit better than that. The Ponsford stand is closed largely, and the top tiers are closed. So we'll keep everyone congregated as best we can and make it sound and look like there's more here than there are. Pakistan have seen some pretty big dates at this ground in recent times. So the Boxing Day test, they were the understudies in that memorable night against India in the T20 World Cup. But then they held court in the World Cup final against England. There were Pakistan fans everywhere that night. So you can see some of the local population here in green.
Yeah, definitely. And just walking around as well, a lot of Pakistan flags. They're very passionate fans. They ride the bumps of their heroes. And to be honest, I mean, I think the heroes feel that too, particularly at home. Sometimes to get away from home may be a relief, but they're not going to get a lot of relief early up with this experienced attack that we're talking about here. And, you know, guys like Babar Azam, like, you know, you thought he was going to be just a level below the Smiths and Roots and Williamson or the next generation. And for whatever reason, that hasn't happened. I mean, there's probably half a dozen years it was happening. But in white ball cricket, it's fine. 50-over cricket, he's still a gun. But between him and Rizwan in this inexperienced Pakistan attack, batting lineup, yeah, there's a lot of pressure on them, unless they unearth someone. Ayub, who's on debut, you know, I see that he averages 42 in domestic 50-over cricket, a strike rate of 106. So if he gets going, it is going to be exciting. That's the way he plays. But against Stark, new ball, he'll bowl full. He'll encourage the batsman to drive. And if there's any gap between bat and pad, it's going to swing in. It's going to swing in very, very fast. Cummins hitting a different type of length. So there's different questions posed from this Australian attack that is often too much, but let's see what the Pakistan top order have got.
Abdullah Shafiq is going to be the first to face the music. Now, when last he faced up to Mitch Starc, he made a pair in Sydney. Starc got him in both innings. He'd had a couple of reasonable test matches before that, but Starc was able to knock him over twice when last they met. That was January. Here we are in November. Mitch Starc is below us from the members' end at the MCG. Abdullah Shafiq is going through his stretches to ready himself for the challenge at hand. How fast might Starc be? He wasn't clocked in that Shield game. It was as if the windsock was tied down. We're not going to show you how fast he's bowling. You just get a feel for it yourselves.
And just could set up a wonderful summer, isn't it? The players these days don't get a lot of time to refresh, and that's what we were hearing Mitchell Starc saying leading into that Shield game. And he's had a break after that as well. So he's ready to let him fly.
Starc turns at the top of his mark. He has started a summer with a wicket before. Shafiq is in his sights. Starc rushes in and he bowls, and Shafiq in behind it. Everything in behind it.
Solid start, but it's short of a length. Mitchell Starc will be looking to get an extra metre and a half than that. There's not a lot of grass on this pitch, so you'd imagine this white ball is only going to swing for maybe half a dozen overs, so you've got to maximise that. Don't be afraid to get hit on the up through the covers. Encourage him to play with hard hands, because we know he's got that lethal in-swinger up his sleeve.
Third man and fine leg, the two outside the circle in the initial stages of the power play, and two slips in place. Starc bowls, Shafiq is forward and guiding the ball out to Cummins at mid-off. Ayub's pretty twitchy at the non-striker's end. He had a couple of good strikes. Shafiq sent him back.
140 Ks, so he's got more up his sleeve than that.
What have Australia gone with in the cordon? So Matt Short is at first slip. Tall figure, Steve Smith. Yep. Inglis is the keeper. It's a point, a cover point, a mid-off, a mid-on, a mid-wicket. Starc bowls and Shafiq jams down on the Yorker. It gets past. A little bit of excitement as he hit the ground on the way through into the gloves of Inglis.
Good length, good pace, but no swing, was there? That was the big in-swinger, and it's gone straight on. So Mitchell Starc, he'll keep getting the ball up, and he'll make a call probably by the end of the next over. whether it's going to be a swinging day or not.
Yep. It's a dry pitch at the MCG, and as little grass as they would dare at this time of year. Stark again. Shafiq watches that pass outside the off stump.
Yeah, another straight angle across. And what happens when there's no grass? It doesn't help the ball. Well, it does deteriorate the ball quicker. Also, it spends a lot of time on the pitch. When there's more grass, it'll hit the seam and potentially swing and seam.
Cold player in the house.
Oh, okay. Did you catch him,
Jared? I did Saturday night.
Okay.
Stark over the wickets. Shafiq in behind and defending back down the pitch.
Not quite in my zone.
Okay. Oh, they do a great show.
I need a little bit more heaviness.
Okay. Great stadium.
What about, was
band.
it at Marvel?
Yeah.
What do you think about the big stadiums? I love seeing them in smaller venues.
Yes.
But they can't do it.
You have to cater to the big numbers. So the Coldplay carry a stadium concert as well as any band I've seen, with all that they've got going on.
Yep.
Not just the music. He was lucky to survive a spill last night off the stage. Shafiq upright in his stance and defends back down the pitch. Stark dives away to his left, hauls it in and prevents the first run. Stark opens with a maiden. Abdullah Shafiq very watchful in the early stages. So Stark's 34. He'll be 35 coming out of the summer. So he's in the final stages of what has been an acclaimed career, and he's given himself a real chance to set up for this summer, hasn't he?
He has, and also he made some smart decisions years ago, you know, not going to the IPL, you know, to save himself up for international cricket. He helped win it. I see he wasn't retained, but he basically won them that final, Mitchell Stark. So I think he's been very smart of maximising international cricket. I think him and Josh Hazlewood and Cummins prefer Test cricket, which has been great. But when the big white ball tournaments come up, you know, they prime themselves for them. So he's had a wonderful career, but the pace isn't depreciating too much. I still think he's got at least another couple of years at that fast swinging stage.
Pat Cummins has taken the new ball from the worn stand end. Saeem Ayub, who made his debut earlier this year in Test cricket, has his first look at the ODIs, and he runs the ball through gully down to Zampa at third man, and he gets his first run.
Doesn't matter what level of cricket, particularly your first game or first game of the summer, to get off the mark first ball is just sheer relief.
Yes. So he's a 22-year-old left-hander who's now played 6 Test matches. He's played 23 T20s. This is his first look at the 50-over format. The absolute curiosity, Pakistan haven't played an ODI since the World Cup, since their exit of the World Cup nearly 12 months ago. And then they've got a lot jammed into this period to be ready as the defending champions.
Particularly at home.
At home for the ICC tournament that's coming up. Shafiq faces up to Cummins, and he's beaten, wrapped in on the pads. Didn't quite find what he was looking for.
Where does it rate in defensive titles? How many years is that?
So it's 2017, the last time it was contested. Yeah, so
7 years defence.
It can't have been
where the world champs of champion trophy.
Yeah, it can't have been many held longer than that in titles around the world, but it's theoretically routinely played for. It's been a nasty tournament for Australia through the years as well.
Yeah.
Cummins is bowling right arm over the wicket from the worn stand end. He bowls, and Shafiq plays 3 points, and he'll play it well. Gets some runs out into the deep under the Ponsford standard. Beat Labuschagne, and it sends Maxwell back. They've taken 2, and because it was Maxwell, Shafiq said, no, stay back. We'll just settle for a pair. None for 3.
Cummins started with that classic short of a length. Batsman surprised by the extra bounce and pace from the Australian captain, but he just threw it up there to just see if there was any movement. And because of the lack of angle compared to Mitchell Stark, that was nicely played through. Point for a couple.
And strides in. past the umpire bowls. And Shafiq is beaten. That left him. First real sign of some shape. Past the outside edge and had Inglis going away to his right to take.
This is beautiful bowling. As I said, the previous delivery, he had a little bit fuller to see if there was any genuine swing. I think that's more seen. And that's back to his length. It actually swung after it went past the bat. Inglis taking in front of Matt Short at first slip. But that's a classic Cummins delivery, isn't it? Hinting to angle in, and it hits the seam and moves away.
So Cummins challenges Shafiq, who defends back down the pitch. That one right on the stumps and seen away by the opener.
Makes a loud noise.
Yeah.
And I'm still surprised. He's nowhere near as quick as what he was when he first made the scene, Jared. But batters seem shocked, don't they, when it hits the bat? Like, it's just a bit quicker. It's a bit bouncier. He's unrelenting.
That's been him as captain, hasn't it? Unrelenting. An incredible knack of turning a game or a session with ball in hand. Last of his first over, and Shafiq is squared up, defends away to point. None for 3, Pakistan. After 2 overs, SEN cricket is for Henley Homes big sale. Save up to $40,000, henley.com.au.
The holidays are coming. Buy a 160 kilowatt T60 Max and get a saving of $3,000 off and a free $1,500 gift card to put towards your summer holiday. Hurry to get the T60 Max, backed by a 7-year warranty with a $1,500 gift card and a massive $3,000 off from just $35,990 drive away for ABN holders. Visit a dealer today. LDV. Bring it on. New stock vehicles only. T's and C's and exclusions at ldvautomotive.com.au.
SEN cricket's for 4 and 20 pies, Australia's original fan food. Pat Cummins won the toss, sent Pakistan into bat. After 2 overs, it's none for 3. Stark is in from the members' end. He bowls to Ayub, who swats across the line. That is injudicious. Too close to him for the horizontal cut. And through to Inglis, luckily untouched.
Yeah, poor shot. Poor shot. Tried to hit it too square. He's probably better. He didn't move his feet at all. So a back foot punch would have been a better option. But Stark will notice no footwork. Does he bowl one more outside off stump and then attack the stumps?
Seam Ayub test debut at the SCG 0 and 33. He did look like a short form cricketer in that second innings of some threat. Stark bowls to him. He's in behind running the ball to Gully. Maxwell quickly around to his right. No run.
Having a bit of fun out there, the boys, early on, aren't they?
Maxwell and Inglis.
I mean, there's still players not in this team, but it is an imposing Australian team.
So Hazelwood comes back and Abbott is the reserve quick. Other than that, it's sort of Head obviously in at the top of the order for one of Short and McGurk. And that's the purpose of these 3 matches. Stark is right on the money and Ayub in behind defending. And then Mitch Marsh is the other player who's not in at the moment. But you're going to have to do a lot. So Hardy's in for Marsh. Yep. Who's to say? But if Marsh holds his form, he's still first choice. Stoinis is 12th man. Whether there's still a place for him in the 50-over game will be really interesting by the time they get to that tournament. But you're going to have to play super well, which is the best position to be in, isn't it?
Yep.
Stark is in and he bowls to Ayub. He's bowled right through him. Stark strikes early. And that looks like a sign of things to come from Australia's speedster. Pakistan 1 for 3. Sam Ayub gone for 1. Beaten all ends up.
I said it after that first ball. It was wide. It was a poor shot. Mitchell Stark will notice the lack of footwork from Ayub with that first delivery. He went wide again, got him playing outside the line, no footwork, and then he's attacked the stumps and the zing bales are flying. No swing needed for Mitchell Stark. It was a lack of footwork plus great accuracy and excellent pace. So easy dismissal really for Mitchell Stark. problems for Pakistan, but what a start from the experienced Stark and Cummins. Cummins short of a length, hitting the splice hard. Mitchell Stark with that pace, accuracy, not even needing the swing or seam at this stage to make these early inroads to the Pakistan top order.
That's an unflattering dismissal, so he's got some work to do.
You could see it happening.
Yeah, he could.
And he got a chance. You know, you'd think I've got to get my feet moving. That's a wide ball. What happens when he comes at me? What's going to be my defence? And you know, there's only 2 out. There's 2 slips in place. There's plenty of gaps. Get forward, bat pad close together. Get yourself off strike if you need to. There just seemed like there was no game plan there on debut.
It brings Babar Azam out to the middle of the MCG. He's a 30-year-old. He's seen a lot. He's been through a lot in recent times as well. He's got Stark bowling to him, and Babar defends back down the pitch. So the story arc of his recent career, he was the ODI captain at the World Cup. He relinquishes the captaincy. He's reappointed to the captaincy, and then he's removed from the captaincy without playing a game. All of that happens without them playing a single game. He's dropped from the test side, and there's a certain indignity about the way that it all happens. It causes a major fracas between administration and players and coaches. Babar drives stylishly, wide to mid-off, quick throw at the non-strikers. A lovely piece of fielding by Abbott. There's overthrows to be had. The throw wasn't as good as the athletic piece of fielding, so Babar dabbles out, and he gets 2. End of the over. Pakistan have lost their first. It's 1 for 5 on the Glencore scoreboard, advancing everyday life.
Race into Chemist Warehouse for big deals on big health brands. Get Maxigesic Double Action Combination Pain Relief, 12 tablets, only $4.99. Or treat hay fever symptoms with Zyrtec Hay Fever Allergy, 100 tablets, only $39.99. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
Did you know you can watch all your favourite SEN shows on YouTube? Subscribe today.
From all over the place to just one place, Employment Hero brings hiring, HR and payroll together in the world's first EOS, Employment Operating System.
Pakistan 1 for 5. Abdullah Shafiq is 2. Babar Azam is 2. Cummins is bowling, and Shafiq is beaten as he fends for a ball outside the off stump. Damien Fleming is in our experts' chair to start.
Yeah, and the hard thing I've seen, maybe the last 8 years, I mean, he's been their one world-class batsman. And you can get worn down, can't you? Mohammad Rizwan's a very good wicketkeeper batsman. But just even that second ball, that's class. He is a class player. But once again, you know, I feel a lot of the Pakistan players just feel the pressure, particularly at home. But that inconsistency there from selectors, and the selectors change all the time.
Yes. Cummins bowls. He's worrying Shafiq. That jags back in on him, squirts away to the offside off pads.
The coaches change all the time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of uncertainty, and you're captaining a team that can be very flammable on and off the field. Whereas you just see, if he could settle in, you know, if he was playing for Australia, he's averaging 50.
Yep.
He's a gun.
The hard part for him, when he got dropped, they won the 2 test matches that followed against England, which sort of adds to the uncertainty. Shafiq defends. Cummins back to the bowler.
And finally, Pakistan officials might have found a way, the best pitches to play at home, and that is, you know, if they've been used on before, it doesn't matter. They weren't disasters, but they've got to work out, you know, where can they win test matches, and they've got a couple of handy spinners in their conditions.
Yep.
And batters that can score enough runs. But then you've got the problem of when you leave Pakistan, Australia, South Africa, England.
Shafiq faces up. He drives it a wider ball. It bounces just in front of Maxwell at backward points.
But they've just been batathons, haven't they?
Yeah. That first test against England, 550 plus, and got beaten by an innings.
Yeah.
It's almost unfathomable.
Yes.
In fact, it is unfathomable.
And they used that pitch again.
Yeah, and they got results. 39 of the 40 wickets to spin in the last 2 tests.
But I don't mind it if there's a home advantage.
It's clearly preferable.
Opposition teams need to be able to play in those conditions.
Cummins goes right into his work, and Shafiq tucks the ball away to point. No run.
But hopefully this is the start of Babar Azam reclaiming confidence, you know, showing his class, because, you know, he's just too good a player not to be playing all 3 formats. Let's hope now Jason Gillespie's taken over the one-day coaching as well, that can bring some stability. But that stability tends to not last very long in Pakistan cricket.
Cummins tied over Shafiq. We'll see out of Maiden as he blocks back down the pitch. 1 for 5 after 4 on the Glencore scoreboard, advancing everyday life.
Hey Ben, are you sure it's a good time to build a new house? Yep, absolutely. Henley's house prices are amazing, and we're saving a further $40,000 on luxury upgrades, our facade, flooring and a battery. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it's the Henley Big Sale. Wait, where are you going? To get Chloe and visit Henley.
The Henley Big Sale. Save up to $40,000 on luxury upgrades, flooring, facades or a battery for any new home built. Henley Homes, backed by a $7 billion parent.
Australia won the toss, sent Pakistan into bat. First wicket is gone. Saeem Ayub removed for 1. Stark has that wicket. He starts his fresh over. He bowls to Babar, who flays him away through the offside. A dive at point. Labuschagne might have got a fingertip to it and taken some of the pace off. Maxwell out into the deep at the punt road end. They'll turn and come for 3. And Babar's 2 strokes that he's played so far have looked most promising indeed. He's 5, Pakistan 1 for 8.
It is, and I like the way that he's come out and prepared to play his shots. His feet movement just looked more assured than the other 2 Pakistan batsmen, and I think he's worked out pretty quickly that there's no swing. There's a little bit of seam. There's a hardness, so there'll be a bit of pace and bounce, but there's runs to be scored with attacking fields.
Stark hits the crease. Bowl. Shafiq tucks to the leg side. He goes for the stroke. Cummins picks up, throws. He would have been out. Well, Cummins went halfway up the pitch. I don't know which stumps he was throwing at in the end. He was going for the non-strikers. He couldn't have missed by more. 1 for 9 on a ridiculous single.
Oh, the replay. He's almost hit Mitchell Stark, who's halfway down the pitch and he's followed through. And well backed up, because you wouldn't have thought to be backing that up.
No, no.
You go, no, I'm not in the line of his throw at the stumps at the bowler's end.
I could not have missed by further. Shafiq, that was just suicide single stuff. Babar just runs the ball to backward point. That's where Maxwell is. Just half a dozen steps around from a more traditional gully. They're protecting point pretty well with Maxwell and Labuschagne, the 2 best fielders out there.
So Babar Azam just got caught on the crease there. It wasn't an expansive front foot press, but his head was right over the ball and he provided a full face, and we saw Ayub slightly get inside the line with no footwork. You know, no chance of hitting that ball that he was bowled with.
Pakistan 1 for 9. Stark bowls. Babar slashes at a ball too close to him. Flies through to Inglis untouched.
Geez, that just looked a lot quicker, isn't it? 142 kilometres an hour, so it's fast, but not significantly faster than his other deliveries. But yeah, he's just got caught between the cut shot and that back foot punch. Bit of extra bounce. Excellent delivery there from Stark. Inglis taking an overhead height.
He's here to play his shots, isn't he? 5 from 5 balls. Stark bowls and Babar leaves. Better decision that time.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's different than T20 cricket. This is why I love 50 over cricket. You can build hundreds and accelerate at the end. You know, bowlers get their 10 overs, they can get a bag.
Monday, quasi-public holiday here in Melbourne. Sun is through some fluffy white clouds overhead. It's breezy, keeping it cool enough. We're expecting a top of 20 degrees. Stark bowls and Barber drives. Didn't get all of it away to mid-off. Diving straight over the top of it was Abbott. So he'll gift a couple of extra runs. Australia just a bit untidy in the field in this over. 3 for Barber as a result of the misfield. He'll go to 8. And at the end of the over, it'll be 1 for 12.
Explore RMIT courses that give you skills and connections to take the next step in your career. Apply now for 2025. Cracos 00122A, RTO 3046.
Did you know you can watch all your favourite SEN shows on YouTube? Subscribe today.
Take your paint further with Monarch's ExperTech rollers. Since they're made with premium materials and release more paint with each roll, you'll spend less time reloading. So get the job done faster. Monarch ExperTech, available at Bunnings Warehouse.
The Glencore scoreboard advancing to everyday life. Pakistan 1 for 12. 5 overs in. Shafiq is 3. Baba is 8. Pat Cummins is in operation from the Warne stand end. None for 3 from his 2 overs. Stark is the wicket taker.
You know you've started well with the ball. There's no change in field.
Yes. Yep.
Coming into your 3rd over.
2 slips and protection at points. Cummins bowls. Bubble plays away from his body. Knocks it wide of mid-off. And another misfield.
Wow.
So Abbott twice in a row.
He's a gun fielder.
Gives up bonus runs. 2 there. That's a bit unflattering. Lisa Stalaker, welcome in.
He's on a hat-trick, sorry.
What a time to come in. This is
a gun Abbott, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. So I'm a little bit surprised about the sloppiness of the Australian fielding group. They pride themselves on it. And maybe it's because it's the first game of the season, everyone getting back out there.
A lot of attention on Abbott. At mid-off, Baba plays to the leg side as he leans down on a ball down to fine leg. He's through the first quickly to give himself a chance, but Zampa covered the ground well and keeps it to 1. It is 1 for 14. 15. 1 for 15.
One thing that is evident already is Babar Azam. He's a class above the other 2 that we've already seen. Busy at the crease, good footwork, great intent. Looking to play his shots, looking to get the scoreboard going in the right direction, looking to put some pressure back onto the Australian bowlers.
Cummins in from the top of his mark out the Warne stand end. He bowls to Shafiq. Short, slogged across the line. Hit it beautifully. First boundary over mid-off. Shafiq gets himself a piece of the Australian captain. He moves to 7. The boundary for Liquorland.
Great shot. It's probably the first loose ball that the Australians have bowled. I'm not sure if that was just a half tracker or a poor bouncer from Pat Cummins. If it was a attempted bouncer, you can make sure that the next one will be quicker and it'll be a line just outside off stump. It was there to be hit, but you've still got to put it away, and it's been tough for Shafiq.
The follow-up, Shafiq defends down the pitch.
But he got onto that really quickly.
Yeah, got the free swing at it.
It just come out of nowhere for Cummins.
Yeah, so 7 from the previous over and 7 so far from this after some measly overs to start. So Pakistan needed to just feel a bit of momentum. They've got the scoreboard ticking. 1 for 19. Cummins looking to rein them back in. He bowls and Shafiq clips off his toes wide of mid-on. More runs to be had. Getting back into the deep and doing the fielding is Hardy. He'll take a couple. 1 for 21.
Yeah, so over adjustment there from Pat Cummins. Busy. So a good couple of overs for Pakistan.
It's a chance for them just to kind of jump in. I was going to be fascinated to see what Pat Cummins was looking to do, you know, given the fact that he's not playing any shield cricket, whether he kind of hones in on that right line and length for the red ball.
Last ball of his over, he delivers, and Shafiq turns from his pads again down to Zampa outside the circle. Comes up from fine leg to field. 1 for 22. 10 from the over on the Glencore scoreboard, advancing everyday life.
Saddle up and get ready to ride. Sexyland's Black Friday Super Sexy Sale has pulled into town. For a limited time only, get up to 70% off Australia's biggest range of adult toys, couples games, sexy lingerie and costumes, plus loads more. Something real sexy for everyone. Sexyland. 11 stores in Melbourne and Geelong, or shop online at sexyland.com.au for 2-hour delivery.
SEN Cricket for Henley Homes. Big sale. Save up to $40,000. Henley.com.au. Lisa Stalaker, Damien Fleming and Gerard Waitley with you. Pakistan 1 for 22. That is from 6 overs. Shafiq is 10. Baba is 11. And Mitch Stark sets in from the members' end to start his 4th over. He's over the wicket. Shafiq reaches for the ball, plays it neatly through cover. Abbott times his dive a little better this time, but he still can't prevent a second run as he fields that extra cover. 2 more for a total, which grows to 24.
So there's been no swing.
No.
Isn't it? It's just interesting how so many things have to go right for the ball to swing. And we know Mitchell Stark's one of the great
You were
swing
expecting
bowlers.
it to swing, weren't you?
Yeah, I thought with the humid conditions, but that's been combated by the lack of grass and the dryness of the pitch.
Shafiq is 12 and Baba is 11. Shafiq has the strike. He rolls the ball out to points. No run.
And also we've heard the players all comment a lot about the Kookaburra ball and the fact that it doesn't, if it does swing, it doesn't swing for long enough. And there's always different batches, different years, different seams, how it's all stitched together. So no doubt Mitch Stark, who I believe is he selects the balls, so he goes through a process which he's once told me, and we went on air and then he took me through his whole procedure.
Stark to Shafiq, behind and defending, out to mid-off, no run.
Yeah, Craig McDermott chose the balls when I first made the Aussie team, and then I took over from him. So it's funny year by year.
What did you look for?
So I liked, everyone talked about, they've got to be dark. I liked real bright red. And there was one year, I know, 94, 95, because we played England in test matches. I don't know if that was like, like red wine, you have a good year. They were unbelievable. They swung everywhere. Yeah. And then the next year swung a bit, but not the same.
Stark again, Shafiq. Oh, he tried to get out of the way and he feathered it straight through to Inglis. Left the bat hanging. And like practice beforehand, it just ran off the open blade into the gloves of the keeper. And Shafiq can barely believe what he's done. He's gone for 12. Pakistan 2 for 24.
The one thing Mitchell Stark's been very impressive is his pace, but also his accuracy. There's been no swing. Sometimes he can be a bit erratic, not quite get his length right, but he's been superb, and that's a batsman error, isn't it? Could have just let that ball go easily, drop your hands. So it was a lazy stroke, and now Mitchell Stark's picked up his 2nd wicket just when Pakistan were starting to score quite quickly.
It's almost like when players duck and they keep the periscope up.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. He just swayed away but didn't drop his hands. So the bat was angled up, because a lot of modern cricketers, they wave the bat up above their hip, and from there they kind of meet the ball and knock it on its head, whereas that time he swayed but just didn't drop his hands. And yeah, it was slips practice 101 and taken easily at the end.
If I'm Mitchell Stark getting a dismissal like that, I'm thinking it's my day today. He does have a 6 for in a one-day international here at the G, and he's got 2 early ones now. Big day. No, that's soft after a promising 2 or 3 overs.
It's hard to believe you can make that sort of error, isn't it?
Yeah, but so with a bouncer, I can understand, and because it's halfway down and you're ducking and you're keeping it up. There, it was like he was in his batting stance, like you said, and didn't change.
Just unaware of where the bat was and where the ball was.
A bonus wicket.
Bonus, all right. It brings Mohammad Rizwan, the 32-year-old. He's a plucky keeper. He's now the captain of this team. So his career for Pakistan is prolific. 35 test matches, 102 T20s, and now his 75th one-day international. He strikes at 126 in T20s, at 90 in ODIs and at 55 in Test cricket. He has been fun to watch all the way through his career.
Got a question here, Flem. Coldplay lads are a few boxes away. Can you ask how the heck you fall through the stage during a show? One of my favourite movies is Spinal Tap. They got lost on the way to the stage. That was a great scene. So maybe Spinal Tap 2, the movie, they can steal from Coldplay.
Stark has 2. He bowls to Rizwan, who defends. He's very risky in his defence, Rizwan. He keeps him out. We've in an epidemic of this, as Olivia Rodriguez went straight through the stage at Rod Laver Arena. Chris Martin goes off the stage at Marvel. What are we doing here in Melbourne?
What's the next big act at the G? Because that's going to happen again.
We can't blame it on their crew, bringing in all of the stuff that goes on with those world tours.
Yeah.
It's not us, is it? Surely not.
Stark's last ball of the over. Rizwan plays and misses. He fiddled at that ball outside the off stump. He should have been watching it go. Stark has both openers. Pakistan is 2 for 24 after 7 with Adam White to come in.
Good afternoon. Pretty cruisy in and around town. All our major arterials are moving well in Melbourne. The ring road is a little bit slow, Greensboro bound off the Westgate Freeway, but otherwise all the majors moving fine, and there's no traffic incidents thus far. No major ones anyway. Spend $5 or more with your MasterCard credit card and you could win a $1,500 MasterCard gift card. Ends December 31, 2024. T's, C's, exclusions and eligibility criteria apply. And don't miss all tomorrow's Cup Day action live from Flemington all day on SEN and SEN Track.
Cummins is going to continue from the southern end, with Pakistan still 2 for 24. Bright sunshine here at the MCG. Into an 8th over. Cummins into his 4th. He bowls and it's clipped nicely from Bubba through mid-wicket. That's timed very, very nicely. Out to the rope, in fact.
Well, just a foolish delivery on leg stump. And all Babar Azam had to do was kind of get his foot in the right position and meet it nicely. And as we know, with any players from the subcontinent, they're very risky. Find a way of just finding the gap. Played so elegantly by Babar Azam through mid-wicket region.
His first boundary for Liquorland. Azam up to 15, and he's only faced the 10 balls. Cummins again approaches, bowls, and from the stumps he just pushes defensively into the offside. It was interesting, Lisa, even seeing Bubba come out to the crease. He came out really early. He was really striding out to the middle. He was pretty much, by the time he crossed his teammate who'd been dismissed, they're almost inside the ring. That's how quickly and keen he was to get out there.
He needs someone to bat with him here.
Yes.
Because he looks in very good form.
And there's not a lot of experience in the batting lineup after Rizwan at 4. Cummins again bowls, and he's dabbing into backward point to Maxwell. Sort of caught on the crease. He was neither back or forward.
And also, they've probably got, Mitchell Stark might only have one more over in him. Cummins one more after this, so you get through that first initial burst from the 2 guns.
2 for 28 in the 8th over on the Glencore scoreboard, advancing everyday life. Cummins again from the southern end. Past the umpire, bowls to Bubba, who's jamming down on a full ball into the onside. Fraser McGurk doing the fielding. There's no run.
It's just hitting that length hard, isn't it? That's really, once again, batsman getting surprised by that splice. It's ugly, isn't it? It's in between. You can't get forward to drive.
So the speed,
you can't play it off the back foot.
Yeah, so the speed's only sort of high 130s with Cummins. It's no faster
Which it's
than...
been for a few years.
That's right. But he always feels like you're hitting the splice and rushing the batsman when you're watching. It's making a slight change to the field here. So Smith's coming from second slip into almost like a 4th slip. And he's fielding in front of the keeper. So it's a hot spot there if it comes towards him. Cummins again, bowls. Barbara Azam gets a bouncer and he gets underneath it.
I think it's such an underrated ball in T20 and 50 over cricket.
Yeah. Literally at the badge, wasn't it?
Surprised, though.
Yeah.
He's been bringing him forward, training, weight on the front foot. Oh, got to go back.
And it shows Flem how he can bowl faster. That one then was 143.8 and was a bouncer.
When you talk about change of speeds, everyone thinks it's a slower delivery, but the change up actually has a bigger effect. And if you've got a bit more room to move, then you absolutely target that.
Collins bowls again, and Azam is down the ground. That's a good shot through mid-off. It was nothing more than a push, and it's going to get to the rope. 2 boundaries in the over for Babar Azam. And at the completion of 8, it is Pakistan 2 for 32 on the Glencore scoreboard.
G'day, Jason Hodges here. Like me, you know that life happens on lawn. And my mates at Strathair Instant Lawn have been producing world-class grass for over 50 years. Whether you need a play space for the kids, a barbie area for your mates, or an outdoors spot for the pooch, Strathair offer a lawn for every yard or project. From the hardy Tiff Tough Hybrid Bermuda to the greener in winter fescue. Call Strathair for a free quote today or go online to strathair.com.au.
Babar Azam putting on a show here at the MCG already. He's 19 runs from just 15 balls. Pakistan 2 for 32. Mitchell Starc going again from the members' end. He's bowling to Rizwan, who tries to force down the ground off the front foot. No timing in the shot, no run.
How good are the battles within cricket, though? You know, Cummins versus Babar Azam. You know, Cummins loves when the best batter from the opposition comes in. You know, Root, Kohli. It just so happened that Mitchell Starc got the first wicket and Babar come out at number 3. But that was a battle. He tested him, but still went for 8 runs. So Babar Azam, that was a really good shot, that last one. After getting splice height, good bouncer, pushing him back. Nah, it's full. I'll go full and hit an off drive for 4.
Starc again, slapping into point off the front foot. Rizwan can't beat Labuschagne, who fields on the bounce. There would have been runs there if it had got past Labuschagne.
Every time I look at Rizwan, I just think of the Cricket World Cup against Sri Lanka where he had the cramps, getting 100, and every time he would hit the ball, the hamstring would go and he'd be on the deck. But he's a feisty character. He's busy at the crease. He's always looking to score runs.
He's a keeper.
Starc again past the umpire bowls, and Rizwan slashes and misses. Again, wide of the off stump, and the Australians know where he likes to play. There's a backward point and a cover point for that particular shot inside the circle, and they've still got the 2 slips in play as well. They're daring him to play through that part of the ground.
Yeah, because of his height as well. He's small in stature, so anything just back of a length is something that's cuttable for him. And there'll be certain types of players where sometimes 4th stump and definitely off stump is still cuttable for them. They're now making a slight change.
Yeah.
So they've got this short cover.
Short cover point,
isn't it? Yeah.
I think Starkey wants to get a bit fuller than those last couple of deliveries.
Labuschagne in that position. Maxwell out at the edge of the circle. Starc bowls. Rizwan gets one on the gloves. Wow. And with soft hands, he was able to get it into the cordon on about the 3rd bounce. But that one really rushed Rizwan. He actually walks away to square leg to gather his composure there. That might have hurt.
It was steep bounce, wasn't it? It wasn't that short.
Good speed here, Flem. 143 consistently in this over. Still 2 balls left. 2 for 32, Pakistan.
Just wickets in those first 10 overs, very important.
Starc again. Rizwan, late decision to leave with the angle across the right-hander.
Apart from probably the wide one, 3rd ball in, that's the only time that Stark's really missed.
Been so accurate.
Otherwise, he's been honing in, and that's a credit to him because we know that at times he can spray them around, but I think the rest and just working on a few technical things, he's been able to kind of start this summer, firstly for New South Wales and now for Australia, bang on.
Starc on the approach. Past the umpire bowls. Rizwan driving firmly up to Abbott. who fields at a wideish mid-off, and that is the end of the over. Pakistan 2 for 32 on the Glencore scoreboard.
Kentucky Fried Chicken presents the new Original Crispy Burger series. The lettuce is crispy, the chicken is extra crispy, and the mayo is mayo. It's double breaded, extra crispy, and it's out now.
Did you know you can watch all your favourite SEN shows on YouTube? Subscribe today.
Flight Centre's biggest, reddest sale of the year has landed. Save up to 50% off holidays, cruises, tours, and more. Hurry, and soon.
Flight Centre.
Pakistan 2 for 32 after 9 overs, and we're having our first bowling change. So Cummins out of the attack at the southern end, and Sean Abbott in for the action for the first time. Babar Azam on 19. Mohammad Rizwan yet to score, facing a maiden over there from Mitchell Starc, Lisa, in that last over. It was good bowling, maybe not so good batting, with a few times outside off stump, but it was a good over there from Mitchell Starc.
25 dot balls for Mitch Starc already.
Abbott, first ball, bowls to Azam, who can't quite beat cover point. They take a single. Oh, Rizwan's in trouble. He's in real trouble. So safe. They fired it into the striker's end where Rizwan was running. He looked to be scrambling. I reckon a direct hit, it would have been out.
And I don't know if Josh Inglis collected the stumps without the ball. So, good throw. Inglis running up to the stumps, trying to take it and gather it at the same time. The dive as well has meant that safely home, but boy, oh boy.
It was very close.
First bit of real action we've had, like bit of scampering.
Absolutely. Rizwan was not ready to go. That was clear at the non-strikers. He wasn't backing up, and Babar Azam just went, I'm going. Almost on the shot.
Yeah, it was played nice and it was well fielded in the end. So that's, you know, the age-old don't run on a misfield.
Yes, that's right. It was knocked down, but it stayed live inside the circle, which caused the slight confusion. So Mohammad Rizwan on strike, still yet to score. Pakistan 2 for 33 in the 10th. Abbott again, past the umpire, bowls. Rizwan forward in defence, bat and pad close together, pushing up to mid-off.
Well, there seems to be a real tactic by the Australians, because again you've got that short cover point. Glenn Maxwell now is in that position. So twice we've seen when Mohammad Rizwan is on strike, when Starc initially was bowling, and now Sean Abbott. So maybe they feel he goes really hard at the ball and there's a chance maybe of change of pace, and there's an opportunity for a catch in that position.
Abbott again. Rizwan gets one where he's squared up. It squeezes out along the ground through the offside for 2. That wasn't really where he was trying to hit the ball, but it means he's off the mark with that double into the offside. 2 for 35, Pakistan. The bottom hand came off the bat there as it squeezed out on the offside.
Yeah, he tends to technically, from Rizwan, he tends to kind of throw his head outside the line of the ball, and sometimes with limited footwork, and then tries to find the ball with his hands. And because of that last delivery and what they've seen, they've decided to now put 2 cover points.
Very unusual. Both on the square at cover point. Abbott again bowls. Rizwan leaves outside the off stump. So 1 slip, and then those 2 catches at cover point. Maxwell is one of those, and Steve Smith is the other, with Matt Short assuming the role as the number 1 slipper.
This is why I like one-day international cricket, because you actually get to see some different fields. Test cricket, it tends to be stock standard, especially with the new ball, so many slips and gullies. Whereas one-day cricket, you've got to outthink a little bit because the batters are going a bit harder.
Abbott again. Bowls. Rizwan pushing up to mid-off. No run.
And T20 cricket is all about defending and just hoping that they play a poor shot. You're never looking necessarily to get the opposition out. You're trying to frustrate them to get themselves out. Whereas here, there's an element of both. Batters trying to score runs, but also as a bowling group and fielding unit, how do we get 10 wickets?
They're still chatting about the field. Last ball of the over coming up. Abbott from the southern end. Bowls to Rizwan. Digs down on this one. Jamming up to mid-on along the ground. Cummins doing the fielding. And that is the end of Abbott's first over. We've had 10 here at the MCG. And on the Glencore scoreboard, it is Pakistan 2 for 35.
We have reports of a crash in the city. That's Alexandra Avenue near St Kilda Road. Otherwise, all of our major arterials in and out of Melbourne are moving fine, and there's no major traffic incidents as of yet. Won't speak too soon. When the Formula One hits Melbourne, it calls for a day off. Don't miss the Formula One Australian Grand Prix 2025. Grandstand and GA tickets still available at grandprix.com.au. And don't miss all tomorrow's Cup Day action live from Flemington, all day on SEN and SEN Track.
It is SEN Cricket for 4 and 20 Pies, Australia's original fan food. Adam White and Lisa Stalaker live from a bright and sunny MCG. Pakistan 2 for 35 after 10 overs, so the end of the first power play with Babar Azam on 20 and Mohammad Rizwan on 2. Mitchell Starc with both wickets to fall, and he's going to continue here into a 6th over.
Interesting tactics.
Only 3 out. Barazam plays late, dabbing into the cordon, but gets a single. And took the single quite quickly as Short had to scamper around from that first slip to field inside the circle.
I wonder if it's because of the test series that these players are building up. We're not quite sure how many ODIs Mitch Starc will play, maybe just the 2. So if he's on form and getting good lines, good lengths, well, let's give him a free run and he can build some workloads up. You know, there's nothing quite beats bowling out in the middle of a match instead of just a training session.
And getting to bowl against Pakistan's best 2.
Yes, true.
From the members' end, he's on the approach again. Bowling to Rizwan, who drives firmly to Maxwell at wideish mid-off. They take a single. Maxwell having to come around from his left to do the fielding, so they can complete one comfortably. Mohammad Rizwan on 3, Babar Azam on 21. Pakistan 2 for 37 in the 11th over.
And at times you see Mitch Starc, when the ball isn't swinging, he tends to come around the wicket. He tries to use that angle and just get the ball to straighten slightly. But the fact that he's staying over the wicket, for him, means that he's in good rhythm and he's happy with how he's executing.
Bowls again, and Babar Azam slashing through the offside. There is the protection now. Out sweeping on the offside, so it'll just be a single to Abbott as the score ticks over to 2 for 38. Babar Azam up to 22.
When you look at these 2 guys, Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam, they are the most accomplished 2 that have played the most ODIs in this playing 11. So much experience. He's helped stitch Pakistan's innings together a number of times.
Rizwan this time gets up on his toes and just guides it into that third man region and can get a single. He was busy there, the way he got his feet into position, his hands into position to be able to guide it down behind point for that single to move to 4, 2 for 39. Everything has to be quick when you're facing Mitchell Starc.
Yes. And Abdullah Shafiq found that out as well.
Yes.
Everything has to be on point. Drop your hands.
You drop your hands, but you've also got to drop the bat.
Yes.
Starc again, 4 consecutive singles through his first 4 balls. He bowls here to Babar Azam, who pulls it away. Good shot forward of square leg, racing across the turf. There's a chase. It's gone for 4. That's the 3rd boundary in about 10 minutes from Babar Azam, and all really high-quality cricket shots to different parts of the ground here at the MCG for Liquorland.
And it's the first one off Mitch Starc as well. So that one short of a length. Not sure if Mitch Starc was looking for a bouncer or not, but really only came up to chest height. Not going to trouble someone of the class of Babar Azam, who's flying at the moment. Strike rate of 136.
It really feels like he's come here with a point to prove, and he does have a point to prove, having missed out on the Test series against England. Such a talent. We've got an issue here with the ball. Glenn Maxwell is talking to the umpire. He's just make sure you use the towel and nothing else there, Glenn. We've already had a few issues in the last couple of days. He did it in front of the umpire, so everything's okay. He's got a white towel that he stuffs into the back of his pants. Gives the ball back to Stark, who's ready. Last ball of the over. Every ball has been scored on so far. He bowls to Bubba Azam, who's in defence. He's happy with the runs already scored in the over. So 8 off that over there from Mitchell Stark. And at the completion of 11, it is Pakistan 2 for 43 on the Glencore scoreboard.
No need to travel far. Mercedes-Benz Melbourne guarantees to better any trade-in offer by a minimum of $5,000. Visit Mercedes-Benz Melbourne today. T's and C's apply.
Did you know you can watch all your favourite SEN shows on YouTube? Subscribe today.
Snap Fitness is turning 15. Celebrate with Snap Fitness by joining in November and pay nothing until 2025. Now that's a birthday gift. Join now at snapfitness.com.au. Snap Fitness, for the feeling. T's and C's apply.
SEN cricket from the MCG for the Henley Homes big sale. Save up to $40,000. Henley.com.au. It's not a scheduled drinks break, but both Bubba and Mohammad Rizwan are keen to get a beverage into them and a change of gloves. We've completed 11 overs here with Pakistan sent into bat 2 for 43 with Sean Abbott to bowl the 12th over. Ready to go. Mohammad Rizwan on strike. Pushes firmly up to mid-off. Oh, through the legs there, this time of Labuschagne. And it'll only be a single. But we are seeing some errors from the Australians in the field through the first hour of play.
That's what, the third?
Yeah, third or
misfield,
fourth.
yeah. Sean Abbott guilty of 2. Thankfully, he fielded the third. There wasn't a cheer as he fielded his third one cleanly, but now Marnus Labuschagne is just being passed on from each fielder.
It's contagious. Abbott again bowls. This time to Azam. Is he feathering it through? The Australians like it. The umpire doesn't. So will they go upstairs? They have a conference. They are very keen here, the Australians. Inglis going straight to Cummins. They're chatting, and Pat Cummins says no.
Wow.
I thought we were definitely going upstairs for 0% alcohol, 100% beer. But they were 100% confident it wasn't out.
Well, the way that Abbott celebrated, he just put his hand in the air and was running towards his teammates. Did not even look behind as well.
It was a good shaping ball that went away from the right-handed Bubba, who tried to play on the front foot. And looking at the replay, there is a gap between ball and bat. This time, Azam tries to force up the offside. Bubba Azam can't beat mid-off, and there is no run. Similar ball, similar sort of shot from Bubba.
This time he found the middle of the bat.
He did.
But that was strange.
They looked so confident, didn't they, the Australians? I think it was more Inglis that was the one that was, even though he put his hands up initially, he was the one that stopped the option of going upstairs. Abbott again bowls to Bubba Azam, who drops at his feet away on the offside. It trickles into backward point. Smith does the fielding and there's no run.
Yeah, Matt Short at first slip, he just didn't look that enthusiastic.
No.
It was just are we going up? Okay, let's go up as well.
He's a very honest Victorian, Matt Short, Lisa.
He is an honest guy. A very
Full of
sweet
integrity.
guy, yes. He's a wonderful cricketer. I'm so happy to see him, develop on the Big Bash stage.
Absolutely.
And then has all of a sudden now travels around the world, plays for Australia.
A bit wider on the crease. Bubba Azam pushes back to the bowler. It's a great one where he's just been rewarded because he's played really good domestic cricket, so he gets to play for his country.
Well, and the fact that, the Australian side for the T20 series against Pakistan is looking for a skipper.
Yes.
I would put Matt Short in that position.
Well, you've seen him a number of times do it now for the strikers for the last couple of years.
A level-headed guy, stays calm under pressure.
Abbott again, a bit closer to the stumps this time. Flicked away off the pads there by Bubba Azam. Out into the deep. They've got one. They're going to come back for two. With Aaron Hardy doing the fielding. No, they don't come back for two. Bubba Azam was happy with the one, so he can keep the strike. So at the end of the over, Bubba Azam on 27. Mohammad Rizwan on 5. Pakistan 2 for 45 on the Glencore scoreboard.
The holidays are coming. Buy a 160 kilowatt T60 Max and get a saving of $3,000 off and a free $1,500 gift card to put towards your summer holiday. Hurry to get the T60 Max, backed by a 7-year warranty with a $1,500 gift card and a massive $3,000 off from just $35,990 drive away for ABN holders. Visit a dealer today. LDV. Bring it on. New stock vehicles only. T's and C's and exclusions at ldvautomotive.com.au.
SEN Cricket for 4 and 20 pies, Australia's original fan food. The international summer here in Australia starts today with Australia and Pakistan in a one-day international day-night game. And Aaron Hardy is coming to the attack with Pakistan 2 for 45 after 12 overs. Bubba Azam on 27, Mohammad Rizwan on 5. With Mitchell Starc, the 2 wicket takers early on in his first spell, so he's out of the attack for the first time. So from the members' end, Aaron Hardy comes in. He's on the approach. Bowling to Bubba Azam, who pushes on the front foot into cover point. Maxwell doing the fielding, and there's no run.
Now we see the Australians kind of adopt the 4 fielders
Yes,
out.
I was just about to say exactly that. It's traditional. You're just talking about how it's not traditional, and now it's traditional.
Now it's traditional. It's like, okay, these 2 look comfortable. They're moving well. Let's see if we can just limit the boundaries and still have our cover mid-wicket in off the inner circle. Can they shut down? Can they be a key fielder for us?
Sweepers on either side of the wicket square. Oh, good ball there from Hardy that beats the outside edge. Bubba just pushing forward sort of conservatively and cautiously, and some bounce and maybe some movement away. We've got the luxury of a replay here, and that was definitely shaping away, and that's what caused the error from Bubba.
Yeah, it's the right length because Bubba Azam is looking to drive. We've already seen him play some expansive drives already.
Hardy again, close to the stumps. Clipped away in the air, backward a square leg. Will only be one. Bubba Azam, no, this time he does come. Oh, Rizwan's in trouble again. Slides and makes it. This running between the wickets between these experienced cricketers is a little iffy. I didn't think Bubba Azam was going to come because he didn't come in the previous over. And this time he decided, yeah, I'll go. Mohammad Rizwan went, oh, really? You sure?
Well, and
he slides in at the non-striker's head.
It was Mitch Starc down at fine leg, and he's thrown that, what, 60?
Oh, 80, I reckon 80 metres, yeah.
Close to the stumps.
Hardy again bowls. Bubba Azam nearly chops it onto his stumps. Fortunately, went onto his body and dribbled out on the onside. There's no run.
Yeah, I think Bubba Azam, and this is the thing for a lot of teams when they come to Australia, they have to get used to the size of the boundaries, and they're big. So there is actual runs when you hit it into the pocket. You can come back to 2, you can come back for 3. And if you see the fielder close to it, you kind of forget that it's still a 60-metre throw. So you can absolutely run on the throw sometimes.
Hardy again, a bit wider in the crease, bowls to Bubba, who pushes into gully on the front foot, opens the blade, no run. And it was interesting that it feels like he's in the zone, Bubba, and he wants the strike. In the previous over, out into the deep, could have come for 2. No, I've got to keep the strike. Whereas on that occasion, I can come back for 2 because I can stay on strike. He's feeling it.
There's nothing wrong with those type of players. They normally score a truckload of runs and maybe run out a few of their teammates.
He's on 29. Last ball of the over here, and he clips away to Short, who does the fielding at mid-wicket, and that is the end of the over. And that is the end of my stint. Gerard Whateley coming in with Pakistan 2 for 47 after 13 overs on the Glencore scoreboard.
For tradies, time is money. Caroma Plumbers Favourites will help you save on both because they're easy to buy, install and maintain. You'll get access to a great collection of Caroma products that plumbers know and love that suit any situation. It's quality you can count on at a price point you'll love. with great deals available at your local plumbing store. Check out the favourites on Caroma Plumbers Hub, plumber.caroma.com.au. Caroma, locally designed and engineered.
SEN Test cricket for 4 and 20 pies, Australia's original fan food. 2 for 47 as Rizwan defends the first ball of the fresh over from Abbott, who's in operation from the Warne stand end. 2 for 47. Bubba is 29 and Rizwan is 5. Lisa, it's been a lively phase of play.
Yeah, there's been 2 Pakistani players out there that are trying to fight their way against this Australian attack and find a way of scoring freely. Both of them prefer that. Babur Azam is the one that's been flying at the moment, 29 off 31 deliveries.
Field has spread more than previously. Rizwan lets the ball pass through to the keeper. So fine leg, deep mid-wicket. Mid-on is up, mid-off. There's a short extra cover, a deep cover, a point inside the circle, a third man, and still a slip alongside Inglis.
We get to the point where we start the summer, the men's summer of cricket, and it's 50 over cricket. You're thinking, what's the past score now in 50 over cricket?
It looks like a nice pitch. Got to dry and as much grass off as they can as Rizwan leaves a ball that shapes in, and Inglis does a good job to block that low down and not let it sneak through.
Yeah, we've seen the fact that the new ball isn't swinging at all, and as Flem has said, it's a little bit drier than what you're normally used to. So I wonder if we're going to see some spin and Zampa. I wonder when Pat Cummins will let him loose. I'll be fascinated to see if he can get the ball to really grip and turn.
Sean Abbott looking to advance his case in this team. He bowls and Rizwan squared up, runs the ball to backward points. Smithfield's no run. So what is he, Abbott? He's 32 years of age. This is his 25th one-day international. He's played 20 T20s. He's been on the periphery. He's taken 54 wickets across the 2 formats for Australia, and there have been moments where he looks like a first-choice player. It's just the first choice is so rich, it's hard to break into.
Yeah, he's part of that group of players that are just sitting behind the New South Wales cartel.
Abbott bowls, Rizwan cuts hard straight into the turf, took a bit off it, out to deep point. He'll take a single.
But I actually think, you know, people tend to, and maybe more so here in Australia, tend to kind of put him more as a bowling all-rounder, yet you see him over in England county cricket, he scores runs. He scores runs and takes wickets. He's just, unfortunately, in a period of Australian cricket where there's some pretty dominant names, so it's very hard to kind of get an opportunity.
Tight oval one to come in it. He bowls to Bubba, onto the pads, tip and run straight to mid-on, well judged. Better and more decisive from the Pakistan pair. A pair of singles to finish the over. Bubba moves to 30. It's 2 for 49 on the Glencore scoreboard, advancing everyday life.
Drop everything and get into Chemist Warehouse. Stock up on Sensodyne toothpaste, Daily Care 160 gram, only $7.69. Or ask about Colgate Pulse Series 2 Deep Clean and Sensitive Electric Toothbrush, just $64.99. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
Did you know you can watch all your favourite SEN shows on YouTube? Subscribe today.
Book online now at Pacific Smiles Dental, Australia's local dentist. Pacific Smiles Dental, the dentist everyone loves because they're open early, late nights and on weekends.
Aaron Hardy's first over was a good one. Asked some good questions of Babur Azam, who has the strike. He's on 30. Hardy bowls to him, cuts close to the body, gets it away down to third, and takes a single to bring up the 50 for Pakistan. So that comes off the first ball of the 15th over. Saeem Ayub gone for 1, Abdullah Shafiq gone for 12. Babur is 31, he's looked good. 31 from 33 balls. And Rizwan, the captain, is on 6.
Yeah, the Australians certainly bowled well initially in the first power play, and since then, and pretty much since Babur Azam has come out.
Rizwan defends the ball to short extra cover, no run.
Yeah, Babur Azam is the only one that has looked comfortable. He's been able to play the short deliveries when they've come and put them away, and then the rest of the time he's happy to punch. doesn't need to be too expansive. There's enough gaps here at the MCG. When you look at Mohammad Rizwan, 6 off 22 deliveries, and he's the type of guy that loves to get out of the blocks quickly. And the Australians have just pegged him back nicely.
Excitable fellow, captaining the team. Rizwan drives, didn't get it. Hardy knocks it down in his follow-through.
You've been following with much interest around the Test squad and the potential players that could come in for Cam Green. Why haven't many people mentioned an Aaron Hardy?
I think because Marsh is already in the team, they won't play Marsh and Hardy together. But if anything went wrong with Marsh, Hardy would simply replace him. It would be a straight swap. So there's certainly a scenario in which he's close. Ball runs away to points. Sent back Rizwan after taking a couple of steps.
Yet we have Cam Green and Mitch Marsh in the side.
Yep. I think that's an exception to the rule, because they see Green as a top 4 batter rather than an all-rounder, even though he does both. And then Bo Webster's making life interesting as well.
He is, isn't he?
I do think that Hardy is absolutely next in line for Marsh's position, depending what happens with Green in the long term. They like him a lot. They like him in this team. Rizwan drives, Hardy doesn't beat the dive at mid-on. Great work done by the skipper to haul it in, fling it out the back of the hand at the stumps and keep it to 1. Went off the blade. That felt like 4.
Yeah, Pat Cummins leading by example. You tend to see him float around that mid-off, mid-on. Prefers to do that, talk to the bowler, but also moves exceptionally well laterally. And that's the type of fielding we're used to seeing by this Australian unit.
Last ball of the over. Baba cuts close to the body. Smith's at backward point. No run to be had. 2 for 51. A couple from us on the Glencore scoreboard, advancing everyday life.
Hey Ben, are you sure it's a good time to build a new house? Yep, absolutely. Henley's house prices are amazing and we're saving a further $40,000 on luxury upgrades, our facade, flooring and a battery. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it's the Henley Big Sale. Wait, where are you going? To get Chloe and visit Henley.
The Henley Big Sale. Save up to $40,000 on luxury upgrades, flooring, facades or a battery for any new home built. Henley Homes, backed by a $7 billion parent.
SEN Test Cricket for Henley Homes. Big sale. Save up to $40,000. Henley.com.au. Great partners of SEN Cricket, SEN Test Cricket since our inception. Great to have Henley as part of it again this summer. Onto the pads. Abbott, first ball of the over, turned away by Rizwan to deep mid-wicket. He'll take a single and progress the total to 2 for 52. So Hardy and his progress for Australia so far, his 9th one-dayer, and he's played 10 T20s. Probably, as Marsh has obviously been doing some captaining in the white ball form, so he's the incumbent for the time being, but he's a good replacement to have in the wings, and he's 25 years of age, so a lot of cricket ahead of him. Abbott bowls, and Bubba circumspect in defence.
Yeah, his stocks are rising, his first CA contract as well, and I think he kind of burst on the scene. Didn't he play a second 11 game against India and picked up Kohli and Rohit Sharma, and everyone was talking about him. He scored runs as well. And then, unfortunately, he's had some back injuries, some elbow injuries that has kind of left him out of state cricket as well. But now that his body's strong.
Abbott bowling short. Bubba went after it. It was right up over his head and quite rightly called a wide. But he couldn't help himself. He was going to let it go and then decided to take a dirty old swipe at it.
He's like, surely if I get something on this is flying. He's right. Unfortunately, it was that wide.
You wouldn't want to get out doing that, would you?
No, you wouldn't. We've already seen an unfortunate dismissal already at the top of the order.
Start 2 for 19. Cummins none for 21. Abbott's in operation. None for 9. He bowls and Bubba leans on a ball near point. No run. Just trickles across the popping crease, out across the test pitch and the pitch that's going to be used in the Australia A game on Thursday, which has got plenty loaded into it.
What are your thoughts on the bat-off that is taking place in Australia A games?
I think we got our answer, Lisa.
You think you've got the answer?
Yeah. Well, Nathan McSweeney won the bat-off.
So it doesn't matter what happens in this next game?
I would hope they'd let him open in the next game for the dress rehearsal. Bubba's 31. He turns from his hip wide of mid-on and takes single. Progresses the total to 54. I think he's in such good form now.
Yep.
Century in Shield cricket, a century in one-day cricket, 88 not out. Top score in both innings in difficult circumstances. Yep. Constas, to my eyes, just not quite ready. Bancroft's in awful form, and Harris is just a whisker shy. I just think if we had 4, there's only one who stepped forward. Rizwan pulls the ball straight into the turf, out to deep mid-wicket, helps himself to his 9th run. What do you think?
It's a tough one. I know lots of people were quite happy with the youngster Constance and what he was able to do in Shield cricket the start of the summer, but he's still very young, and you get a little bit concerned coming up against a quality Indian attack. Jasprit Bumrah for one.
But bowls cut in the air, beautifully played by Bubba. Over backward point and down to the boundary for 4. Powerfully struck. And Bubba's on his way. He's 36. The scoreboard ticks along to 2 for 59. That boundary for Liquorland. We're going to take a drinks break here at least, and then we'll pick up our conversation. Pakistan 2 for 59 at the end of 16 overs.
Curious about how a business loan from On Deck can assist your small business? Meet Fernando, the mastermind behind a booming construction management company.
I needed $47,000 to get new equipment and grow my business. And in just 2 hours, On Deck had the money in my account. So good.
Visit On Deck. Business loans can be approved and in your account within 2 hours, like Fernando. Visit On Deck now. T's and C's apply. All loans are subject to lender approval.
Need some space? We know a place. Visit storageking.com.au to find out how Storage King can declutter your life. Storage King, the kings of storage, moving and more.
Did you know you can watch all your favourite SEN shows on YouTube? Subscribe today.
Tradies, want that kitchen job done fast? Get Caboodle straight off the shelf at Bunnings for quality cabinets, doors, bench tops and hardware without the fuss, so you can finish that kitchen or laundry job in no time.
Stark is in and he bowls to Ayub. He's bowled right through him. Stark strikes early. Stark again. Shafiq. Oh, he tried to get out of the way and he feathered it straight through to Inglis. Left the bat hanging, and Shafiq can barely believe what he's done. He's gone for 12.
One's bowls again, and Azam is down the ground. That's a good shot through mid-off. It was nothing more than a push, and it's going to get to the road. 2 boundaries in the over for Babar Azam.
Some of the action that we've seen so far. Australia won the toss, sent Pakistan into bat. Saeem Ayub bowled Stark for 1. Abdullah Shafiq caught Inglis, bowled Stark for 12. He was 2 for 24. But Babar Azam is 36. Mohammad Rizwan is 9. And Pakistan is 2 for 59, with Stark having both wickets so far. How have you seen that first phase of play, Lisa Sthalekar?
Yeah, certainly one in favour of the Australian side. I think they've bowled exceptionally well, especially the power play. Mitch Stark coming back and bowling with great control, which is great to see for him, and the build-up to the Test summer. A bit sloppy from a couple of Australian fielders, but all in all, the Australians certainly on top. And you get a sense now that Pakistan, through Babar Azam and their skipper now, Mohammad Rizwan, are just trying to wrestle back some momentum. And Babar Azam is the one that seems to be very comfortable out there in the middle and playing easily on the front and back foot. It's Rizwan that's still trying to find a bit of a groove and a rhythm out there at the moment.
Stark bowled 6 overs unchanged, 2 maidens, 2 for 19. Cummins 4 overs, 1 maiden, none for 21. Sean Abbott 4 overs, no maiden, none for 15. And Aaron Hardy 2 overs, no maidens, none for 4 in what we've seen so far. Bubba is 36 from 38 deliveries with 4 boundaries. And Rizwan, he just can't quite get his timing right. 9 from 27, the Pakistan skipper. We're just mid-chat on the Australia A games and where it leads the the selection race for the top of the order in the Indian series.
Yeah, there's a part of me, and you know, maybe I'm a little bit too old school, but I'd love for them to pick an opener from domestic cricket, whoever they think is the best one at the time. You think of the fact that you've got the Indian bowling lineup next to Australian summer, the England, so it's two quality sides. At some point, you're going to see the end of Usman Khawaja, so you've got a chance to kind of bring in that young next player. I don't see the rush in doing so right now, but that's just my opinion.
So if you had to pick now...
I'd go Marcus Harris.
Okay. Pat Cummins has been handed the ball, or he's taken the ball himself at the members' end. He starts after the drinks break. Ball nudged away to mid-on. Cheeky single taken. Rizwan goes to 10. And it is 2 for 60. Damien Fleming's back with us. Hello, Flem.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, out of the three, Harris, Renshaw and Bancroft, I'd go Harris, who's got some tough runs against India before. There's so much conjecture going around, isn't it? I've got it in my head. I'll be going to Marnus Labuschagne, your opening, and I'd put McSweeney at 3. I don't think it's such a big jump, an established 3 to open. David Boone did it.
Slip goes to mid-wicket. Cummins bowls. Ball defended away to backward point. Smith around the field. No run for Bala.
Simon Kadich. Because they're definitely not sold on one of Marcus Harris, Renshaw or
Otherwise
Bancroft,
they
are
would
they?
have done that last year, right?
last year.
But I feel even last year they wasted a Test series.
An opportunity.
An opportunity just to, okay, let's just try this out and see, right?
In what was, you know, it ended up competitive, but it just thought it might be a soft summer.
Yep.
Baba faces up to Cummins. Baba defends the ball to leg, no run.
So, given the history of the Australian men's Test side, you feel that number 3 player could easily slot up, but someone who's played predominantly, where does McSweeney 4?
3.
He's 3 now. I thought he was, you know, the one to replace Stephen Smith at 4. I would have thought this time last year.
Cummins in his second spell, rolls in. Baba tucks him across the line, beats short and close at mid-wicket and gets a single out into the deep under the Ponsford stand. 2 for 61.
I guess it goes down to the discussion of what type of style or brand of Test cricket you want to play. You know, I've heard a couple of former players talk about Usman Khawaja as a very, very steady player, and he was allowed to do that because Warner was up the other end playing his strokes quite freely. So does he need someone of a similar skill set to be able to adapt and click together?
Comes to Rizwan, full toss. That got away from the Australian skipper, and it quite startled Rizwan. He defends, and then he has a little stare at the umpires and goes, anything to be done about that? Just got below hip height.
There's a lot of looking up on the screen and just making sure.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of baseball in there. You know, Travis Head opened in India, so you know, I'm open to that in different conditions, but Australian pitches last few years been pretty bouncy and they've moved.
Cummins pitches this one, and it's run down to third with the open blade of Rizwan. He's 11, 2 for 62.
Anyway, above our pay grade.
Oh, no, we're going deep. 2 for 62 at the end of Cummins over.
Good afternoon. There's been a crash on the Monash Freeway inbound before Belgrave Hallam Road. The left-hand lane is out of action and it's pretty slow going all the way back to Narrewarra North Road. Elsewhere, we have reports of an incident on the Western Freeway inbound at Hopkins Road. The M80 Ring Road will be closed Greensboro bound between the Westgate Freeway and Boundary Road Thursday and Friday nights from 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. Search Big Build for more info and don't miss tomorrow's Cup Day action live from Flemington all day on SEN and SEN Track.
The Glencore scoreboard advancing to everyday life. 17 overs have been bowled, 2 for 62, and Australia is now turning to spin with Adam Zampa. Toss the ball at the worn ends. Baba is well set. He's 37 from 41. Rizwan just having trouble with his timing. He's 11 from 30. Pakistan just salvaging things after falling to 2 for 24 early. Stark 2 for 19. Cummins none for 24. Abbott none for 15. Hardy none for 4. And Zampa begins his work. Rizwan has the strike. He strokes the ball down to long off for a single. So Australia have employed it long off, long on, deep square and deep cover. And then up inside the circle, they've got a mid-wicket, short fine leg, short third, backward point and an extra cover. A bit of movement forward of square out in the deep.
I think he's going to bowl stump to stump.
Okay.
Zamps.
Flicks the ball from one hand to the other. Zampa unfurls. Back goes Bubba. He chips the ball to mid-on. Can't get a run. And short. Gets around quickly, dives and prevents it leaving the circle.
It's been amazing, the chat about the opening position, though. And so early in the season, isn't it?
Zampa bowls, leaning forwards, jammed out by Bubba.
And even before the Travis Head, Mitchell Mark, they've all these Inglis.
Yeah.
They've all been used, haven't they? Matty Short.
There were cases made all over the place for inventive solutions, in-team solutions, out of team, out of position. Every idea has been thrown forward. Bubba, back bowl. Zampa got through him. He removes the danger man. The slider got onto the stumps. And Bubba's gone for 37. Zampa does the trick straight away.
Yep, stump to stump, always working, just varying his pace, varying his delivery. That one, don't know why Bubba went back. He didn't bounce a lot. It actually just turned a little bit from middle to off. But Babar Azam, who's been, well, he's looked in fantastic touch against the fast bowlers, and he's done by Adam Zampa again, first over, picking up a wicket. He's been a constant wicket taker throughout his Australian career, and that's a big one because this partnership could have gone deep. Run rate's okay, but the wickets tally now troubling for Pakistan, and their best player, Babar Azam, is back in the sheds for 37.
3 for 63. Bubba back, trying to get there late. Done. He's ended up sort of folded in half on the crease.
But surely he's faced Adam Zampa a lot. You know he's not going to give away the stumps. If you go back, you've got to make sure you know exactly which way it's going, and you're providing a full face of the bat. He wants you to cut. He wants you to go back. I think he could have gone forward to that ball.
Yep. It's a bit
great stuff from Adam Zampa, though.
Terrific stuff.
But it's not new.
No.
He's not Shane Warne. He's not going to pitch balls outside leg stump and force you to hit through the leg side against the spin. He's not a big spinner of the ball. I mean, he's wrong and does go a little bit, but, you know, he's very, very clever with his variance of pace and also his variance of his length.
It does bring Cameron Gullam to the crease. Excited to see him. He's made his test debut. He's got a century. He's played one.
Yes, he has.
ODI, but it doesn't count. He was the concussion sub after they'd batted. And he's after Zampa slicing the ball on an expansive drive straight to backward point, no run.
That's like the sub in AFL, but it doesn't get on the field.
So after Pakistan had batted, he comes in as the sub, as the concussion sub.
Did he get a cap presentation?
Cameron dances down the pitch straight past Zampa and beats the dive at mid-on and gets 4.
Shot.
He's given that a good crack. Jumping down the pitch, Cameron is off the mark. It's 3 for 67 at the end of a successful over.
Whenever we get stuck and need quality timber or decking real quick on site, we turn to the Robot.
Robot's got it.
Robot Building Supplies always helps us get the job done.
You can rely on Robot Building Supplies day in, day out. Right now, 90 by 35 MGP 10 pine is only $4.72 per metre. Discount for quantity. Robot's been in the building game for over 70 years.
They've seen it all and know it all.
Robot Building Supplies, Notting Hill, Sunshine, Preston, Dramana, Pakenham, Coldstream and Darnham.
ROBOT Robot Building Supplies.
3 for 67, the Glencore scoreboard advancing everyday life. Cameron, not many dot balls, I would say, by the looks of things early.
I like the shot.
An aggressive start. Rizwan, the captain's on 12. Cummins, the captain, bowls to him. Short arm jab out to deep point. And he'll take a single, 3 for 68.
But it's almost in reverse. I'm talking about Barbara Azam must have faced Zampa so much, knows his game plan, but still gets out to it. That shot in that last ball, the over, at least he advanced. He's not afraid that the ball's going to spin past him. And he virtually got to the pitch of the ball, hit the ball hard. Full face of the bat as well.
Run scratches out his mark. He'll get his first look at Pat Cummins.
Let's see his shot selection here.
Cameron, bat raised high, rolls it down past the short backward point, down to third for a single.
So
very high backlift, yes. It is, isn't it? 3 for 69. So he's been around for a long time in List A cricket. He's a 29-year-old. He's had to wait his chance to get 2 tests and the one-dayer. But first-class cricket, 61 games, List A, 94 games, and domestic T20, 73 games. Rizwan's on 13. Yorker, Cummins kept out, jagged away down to mid-on. Fielding done by Abbott, a single taken. Up to 70. Are you watching a hat-trick from Shield Cricket there? Is that what I saw? Brody Crouch?
Crouch, yeah, from Victoria, who's made the move over to Western Australia, and he took wickets in the last Shield game, and now he's got himself a hat-trick.
LBW bowled.
Good way to do it. Love the celebrations. Love the celebrations.
Okay. Did it all himself.
Mate, take the catcher out of the equation. I know all about it.
Cameron swings across the line, didn't get it, falls short of mid-on. Abbott fields on the first bounce. That feels just a little intemperate. He's swinging at absolutely everything at the moment.
It just looks like he used to bowl around himself a lot, Brody Couch, and now he's gone over to Western Australia. It looks like he might have done a little bit of work on straightening himself up, and certainly enjoyed bowling over there at the Wacker.
So that game's over. Western Australia won by an innings and 45 runs. 9 declared for 460 with Tasmania's 317 and 98. At the tea break, Victoria is 5 for 161, so the Vicks would require a fanciful 185 runs in the final session. South Australia searching for 5 wickets. Cummins bowls, Cameron defends, just nibbles the ball back down the pitch.
Is that Stephen Smith batting?
Yeah. Held the bat out straight. No run. Is that trademarked?
Well, I wonder if Smithy's saying that to him. Straight away, when you're bowling, you go, this guy annoys me. I want to get him out. And guess what?
Yep.
There's 2 going out for the hook shot. Or 3 out.
They put 3 back on the leg side.
That high back lift. Is he going to have enough time to take it on, Jared?
New South Wales lead Queensland by 76 runs with 6 second innings wickets in hand.
There's been some good results in the Shield.
Cummins bowls. Oh, Cameron couldn't get out of the way. He's nicked that through to Inglis.
Wow.
That is a short stay for Cameron. That's wickedly good bowling from Cummins. It was all sort of evasive action and no more looking at the ball. Pakistan 4 down, 4 for 70. As the middle order is under threat, Cameron's gone for 5.
Yeah, we had questions before that ball. Wasn't it 3 out? The high back lift, is it going to be able to take on the bouncer? Well, he was just trying to fend it, and it was too quick and bouncy. Both his feet lifted off the ground, because then you're in a vulnerable spot. You can't drop your hands. So that was certainly the Cummins corridor of carnage, and it's too much for the Pakistanis today. The skipper bowling beautifully. In trouble now, 2 quick wickets to the Australians. The Pakistan have got to rebuild.
4 for 70 on the Glencore scoreboard, advancing everyday life.
Here's another.